Okay, well, let's jump straight into it. So I thought what would be really useful is for us to start off with a LUKSO TLDR. So I want the audience to get some, kind of explanation that it's, explain it to me like I'm 5. What is LUKSO? Why do we need it? Why is it created? Who are the founders? Give us all the good stuff.
So LUKSO is a new layer 1 EVM chain. It uses proof of stake for the consensus layer and EVM for the execution layer. That means whatever you can deploy on Ethereum can be deployed on LUKSO. So it uses the same configuration, same language. Whatever can be done on Ethereum can happen on LUKSO. It was founded by Fabian Vogtsteller and Marjorie Hernandez. So Fabian is the creator of ERC20. He's also the creator of Web3.js, Mist browser, the first decentralized browser, I guess. And also Marjorie, she's in the fashion, I would say fashion, like place, world, whatever. So what make LUKSO special is the standard. So it's not like any other network. So usually other network are just like a fork of Ethereum and like with few adjustment on the network layer. They just tweak few stuff, probably more centralized. They probably sacrifice the decentralization for like speed or like lower transaction fees. But LUKSO uses the same stack as Ethereum, and why it's special because of the standard and tools that it uses. So it uses different standards in terms of like for the identity, for the token standards, and also tools to interact with the smart contract. So obviously, MetaMask can be used on our network. Everything from Ethereum is compatible and can be used on LUKSO, but it's more of like we have our own tools which provide better user experience.
I guess I can try to like do the same and try to give my version of LUKSO and like how I speak about LUKSO also when I speak to non-engineers. Like I actually spent some time yesterday trying to explain to my girlfriend's dad LUKSO. So maybe I can try to recreate that pitch here today and summarize it in the same way. I think the high level here is that Web3 is really complicated. And the only incentive right now within the crypto sphere is money and financial. And in order to achieve financial incentive and success in crypto, you have to jump through a lot of intricate hoops. What we need to do is figure out how to make crypto or just Web3 as a whole easier to use than Web2. And until we can simplify Web3 to, make people actually want to maybe have the benefits of decentralization and ownership, we need to make this space very easy. Trying to move a whole entire generation of users to a whole entire new world is very hard when this world is as complicated as Web2. And the reason why Web2 and Instagram and all of these social media applications succeeded is because of like one really important word, and that's access. And right now, people don't really feel that they have access to crypto because it's so confusing and so scary, and it's driven by scams and pyramid schemes. And we need to eradicate all of that by rewriting the way that crypto works. And the reason why LUKSO is a brand new blockchain is because the ecosystem that we want to touch is simply not there. And a lot of people say, well, there's so many people that understand Ethereum. Why don't you just propose these standards to Ethereum? But ultimately, the people that we want to impact are not in this space, and they don't understand crypto. So why don't we try to start again from the ground up and make a laptop being the blockchain and the monitor being the applications so compatible by these HDMI cables where you don't even know that you're using a HDMI cable to begin with. And that's what LUKSO are doing and what we have done with universal profiles and the standards that we've built. Instead of interacting with numbers or hexadecimals or very long strings of digits and addresses, you interact with a profile. And this is done by many technical details, but ultimately smart contract-based account systems and LSP0 and all of these amazing standards that we've built. But the incentive is that you can now have a new foundation to work with. I often give the example of Apple, which is becoming cliche within the LUKSO community, but Apple out of the box, without any applications or without their SDKs for companies to use and to build with, is pretty bland. But even just the foundation of Apple is still intuitive, it's still really easy to use. And then their tools that they provide really allow builders to work and to make the application or the hardware fun. And right now, those tools that we have on other blockchains have been so centered around finance, that it's become very hard to onboard any new users because there's a bad perception, there's no identity, there's no profiles. So yeah, LUKSO have reinvented that wheel with universal profiles and with our standards. And that's kind of the goal here, to make this easy and to give people the tools that they actually need to onboard the users that we haven't even seen yet.
Yeah, to give people like an example of what we're talking about, I can give you probably a bit technical, but not a lot technical. At least we need to talk a bit technical so people can also understand what's the difference. So I can give an example on your address in MetaMask. So technically, you use an address, which is a association of a private key and public key. So it's where you hold your tokens. So technically now, if you want to do a transaction, you need to be the holder of the private key. And if I want to do some transaction, or let's say I will not have access to a certain device, or let's say I'm not able to access my device and I want to have Louis, for example, do the transaction on my behalf, I cannot make Louis do the transaction unless I give him full control of my private key. And full control of the private key means that he have access to all of my assets. So this is problematic, not because I don't trust Louis, but probably for the others, because they don't want to give full ownership of their account. So there's a lot of problems with using an externally owned account, like exclusive control. You cannot attach metadata, so there is no way for other people to know that it's actually you, because you cannot attach your name, a profile picture. Also, there is no upgradable security. That means that if your private key is leaked, it's gone. Like, anyone can have access to your assets, and the worst part is that you cannot change like the password, because it's a private key. It's associated with your address. So these are some of the problems of using externally owned accounts. That's why we need to switch to smart contract accounts, and I guess the crypto space is starting to accept that. Almost everyone in the crypto space, in terms of like company, they're building some implementation of smart contract account. They're not really focusing on building standards, and this will not allow many people to build on top of them, because implementation can change, and like they can roll different implementation, which makes it hard for people to build on top of these implementation. So it's essential for us to standardize the accounts, to standardize everything, even the token that we're standardizing now as an evolution of the existing token standard. They need to be standard, and they should not be just a form of implementation so other people can build on. And we have here a perfect example. The people from Universal Page, they build a marketplace because what we build is a standard. So they know in a specific way how the token work and how they're able to do more stuff with it. So yeah.
I guess just another quick point to add on standards. Standards are everywhere. Like a Wi-Fi is a standard, Bluetooth is standards, and like the whole entire nation or world understands how to use these standards. So standardizing standards sounds cliche, but it's imperative to success on the blockchain. And when you interact with the chain, yeah. So having a UP, as Yamin said, where you can now access grants and permissions of like, hey, you can just access my username and my universal page name and just my date of birth, but not every single right that I have to my whole entire account. That instantly in itself now means that we don't need to be scared when interacting with the apps, or maybe we can just interact with the apps just because we want to show them our names or because we want to message people, on an encrypted platform. So this goes way beyond just impacting Web3. It also speaks a lot about impacting Web2. Imagine just having one account which you can use for all applications, not just on the blockchain, but also off-chain. And LUKSO enables that, and a universal page is a perfect example of the start of this. Yeah, as you can tell, Yaman and I are very passionate about this.
No, that was amazing. I loved like the examples given as well. Like I think that's where the knowledge gap like closes is knowing that like what you can actually do with these profiles and like what you can do with these standards. I think is really important. One other thing I'd love to touch upon just quickly is transaction relayers. I think that's really important, and another thing that makes LUKSO so different in terms of like usage and Web 2 people coming into Web 3. So I don't know if one of you could touch on that quickly before then we move on to the universal profiles walkthrough.
Yeah, sure. I can talk a bit about the relay services. So as we said, since we moved on from the notion of like public key or addresses as main account, now we have smart contract accounts. So that means we can have any logic that we want to attach to our profile. So I can decide, and I gave this example, I want to allow Louis to do a certain transaction without giving him full access. I can do that. And also I can allow anyone to execute through my account, given that he has a signature. So the idea of transaction relay services is that currently the user experience is also bad because people need to acquire native token to pay for the transaction fees. So you need to do through an exchange, do KYC, do a bunch of stuff, and then you will fund your address so you can execute transaction. And this is really complex for non-technical people, so we should not expect everyone to know that. So the idea of relay services is that you don't need to have native token. You just sign a message using cryptographical algorithm that no one should know about, or like you don't need to know about. And since you signed the message, that proves that you want to execute the message, and then you can relay it to anyone on the network. Louis can send it, you, Natasha, can send it on my behalf, or any other. So even there could be some relayer services that charge people, and then they could execute the action on behalf of the user. So having relay services, I think it's essential for like the growth of the blockchain in general.
And another quick point to add here is, as Yamin briefly touched on, LUKSO have actually built our own out-of-the-box transaction relay service. LSP 15, if anybody wants to dive into the standard. But eventually this will be done by the apps, where it may be in LUKSO's native currency, LUKS, or even fiat, or maybe even other cryptos. But yeah, this is by far in my opinion, the biggest friction point that we have right now on chain. Like, why do I need to sign and pay for everything that I do? Like, yet again, this is harder than Instagram. And if it's harder than Instagram, then why would you not just continue to use Instagram? That's really the metric that LUKSO wants to succeed on. But yeah, believe it or not, there's currently no gas fees on LUKSO.
I feel like that's one of the most impressive things about LUKSO is that I feel like a lot of people have been kind of chatting to me and saying, oh, we want to explore it, but like how do we buy it and stuff? And it's just like, just go and explore and see how it actually works, because you actually don't even need to pay gas fees. It's so different to what the experience that we used to in Web3, where, you have to jump over so many hurdles to start using like a brand new blockchain and new system or whatever.
So what we're gonna do is that we first navigate to docs.luxo.tech, this website, and we will go to the UP browser extension section. It's here. And then we will go download the extension from the Chrome Web Store. Then we will be forwarded to this website and we will have add to Chrome. I already installed the browser extension, so I can do that. I can do probably, it will take you to this website after installing the browser extension, and then you can go to this button here, the extension, and you can pin the browser extension so you can always see it here. You can see it here, say hello to Universal Profile, and then I will go directly to create a profile. I will get 3 free profiles and free transaction up to 20 million gas per month. So let's start by validating with Twitter. I hope it's gonna, yeah, that's amazing. And then I need to validate through Discord. So why we do that is just to prove that you're a human and not a bot. So we can give you 3 free profiles. Obviously, it will not like be shared anywhere, but it's just to help or prevent our backend from getting spammed by bots. We will agree to the term and condition. Obviously, read these term and condition if you want. You can stay anonymous here, and also you can add a random username. I will just say the random guy, which is me. And then I'll show you how to, you can add image from here, but I'll show you how to do it later. And then create a universal profile. And I guess it will pop up the browser extension. So you see my browser extension, right? Or I can do it from here.
We see the extension, yeah.
Yes, get started. I need to agree on the terms and condition again. And then I will choose a password. Yeah, I will not show you my password.
Damn.
Yeah. And then you can choose some random addresses. Probably if you change the address, you will get some cool identicon if you're into that. So I will probably choose this one. And then I will confirm the address. It says review. You need to review your address. All good. Got it. Create my profile. And then I'm going to wait a bit. And then I can see it's initiating. And then adding all of the controllers and adding information, and then it can be ported to the profile browser extension. So it's a smooth process. You can see here it's waiting, and then set up recovery method. I can decide to set up a recovery method. It's advised to set one, so in case you lost access to your UP. But I'm not going to do that. I mean, I can just go here and say, yes, please. And then you need to add an email. I will not do that. But yeah, that's just straightforward. You add an email and you get a confirmation, and then it's done. So now, since we have our universal profile here, just to walk you through some of the basics, I guess I will be quick. So this is your profile here. It shows when you click on that, you will get the address. So in case you want to use it. If we click on this button, it will go to the wallet. So we go to the wallet and it will display all of the tokens that you have. Obviously, this is a fresh profile, so I don't have any assets yet. Here you can connect. And then after I connect, I can, if I have some LUKS, I can send. If I want to buy some LUKS, I can just go here and there's it's more of like getting LUKS from a third party, which is Transact. So you need to put your credit card and it will just do it. So this is not to do the transactions, to pay for the transaction fee, but more of like, if you want to buy a collection from Universal Page, an NFT or something, you probably need to have LUKS because it's priced. And then you can get it from here, just to show you that if I want to edit some, I can add a profile photo and it's just gonna go through my files on the laptop. I will not do that because it will expose my file, but I can add a tag, developer, and then this is me testing. And then when I want to save, obviously all of this is happening on chain. So these data are stored within your profile. And then this is showing my quota. So I don't need to pay for any transaction fee. It's all covered by the universal relay service, which is provided by LUKSO. Obviously, I still have I use some of my quota on burn picks, and I guess everyone in the chat now use this quota for like burn picks for refining and minting a burn picks. But yeah, I still have some, so I can go long click to confirm. And in case your quota is empty, what you can do is, no, not here. Sorry, also not here. You can just use your controller key. So in case you funded your controller key, there will be other ways how to fund the controller key. You can switch from the relayer in case you don't want to use it to use your own funds. But obviously I don't have currently funds, so I'm just using the relayer. And yeah, I guess that's, is there anything else that do you guys want to see me doing, or is that enough?
I think that was a great tutorial. I think it was pretty succinct. Louis, is there anything else that you think that you might have missed out?
No, I don't think so. Maybe just like the information that you can attach to your profile, but maybe Universal Page can also do a good job at showing what can be attached.
Yeah, obviously everything that I attach here as a profile picture will be shown in the marketplace because Universal Page fetch everything related to the profile. But yeah, if you add a profile picture here, it will be visible on every website that supports the universal profiles.